from Krysthla, fresh off the main stage. How we doing, boys?
All good. All
Wet.
Yeah.
Wet. Yeah, I'm sorry if I have to drag you over here in this.
Cool.
It's in rain.
Not a problem.
But we made it up with coffee, so we're warming you up. We're doing something. So how was the set tonight?
Yeah, it was good.
Very good.
It was good. Yeah, it was
Received very
I was
well.
about to say, it was nicely received. It was loud on stage.
Yeah.
And yeah, good vibe all around. Awesome.
Boys, it was fucking blinding. Absolutely fucking blinding. There was new material in there as well.
Yeah, 2 new songs in.
Yeah, 2 new ones. We've never played them live before.
So we thought, why not?
Yeah, let's do 2.
I mean, it's like, because it was White Castles and the Gift, weren't it?
Yeah. So,
As soon as White Castles came on, like, I just looked straight to Liam.
Yeah.
Like,
my back stiffens up.
I saw you guys, like, you put up the playthrough video recently, didn't you? Like,
Yeah,
literally
about 2-3 days ago, yeah.
I was watching that, like, fuck, that's intense.
I was kind of
Watching
like
that live, how the fuck do you keep up with that?
Yeah. A lot of practice, but yeah, it's all good.
It's seriously impressive. So what brought about the decision to throw in new songs for this? Was it HRH? Was it just time to add more to the set?
Yeah, we knew we were playing for an hour tonight. And there's kind of, you can either go back through your back catalogue and drag out some old ones, or you can push the album that you've just released.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's a case of, okay, let's get out 2 new ones then.
Yeah.
And we had to outdo Bloodstock because we played Reawaken live for the first time with Bloodstock on the main stage. I thought, right, we need to top that then, so let's do 2.
It's pretty hard to top Bloodstock, to be honest.
Let's do 2. So.
I mean, your Bloodstock set was touted as like, so many people put that as like a highlight of the festival.
Yeah.
A lot of drunk people that early in the morning, eh?
I was there, it was impressive as well. So yeah, the aim was to top Bloodstock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to try something different. Yeah, like I said, the album set, we didn't want to flesh it out with old stuff.
Yeah.
As soon as we just dropped a new album, it was a case, well, let's just do more new ones then.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what was it, 4 or 5 off the new album tonight?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so it's a good mix. Then you got 2 or 3 off each of the other albums as well. So it's a perfect mix, especially like they say, especially at the time of trying to promote a new album. Right?
Yeah.
So perfect.
Yeah, you seem to struck like the right balance of sort of old
Yeah.
material versus the new stuff.
Yeah.
I was going to get into this. Like looking through the course of the 3 albums. There's something in what negative this. I don't know. There's a progression that's really sort of distinct. I can't quite put my finger on exactly where it is, but like live tonight, you know, it's like there's more of a sort of melodic layering coming through. There's more of a sort of evolution in that term.
Yeah.
So what brought about that?
I'll be honest, I find writing stuff that's more melodic and has more of a hook. I don't want to use the word mature because that's not the right way of approaching it, but to actually like craft a song and use melody to move your way through the track, especially when you're a heavy band, you can do it the obvious way, or you can do it slightly left to centre kind of a way, and just try and use melody in a different way. But writing like super heavy stuff, lots of discords and power chords, you can do that all day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it's more of a challenge to do something melodic really well that works in a heavy setting and works with the rest of the set.
Yeah.
And it's a case of, okay, you either do another 8-10 songs that's full on, you know, balls to the wall, here we go, it's just going to chug its way through, blah, blah. Or you need to have a couple of avenues here and there with each record that shows just a little more progression, and the fact that you can jumble the notes up properly and actually have some nice melody that moves through and takes you to the next section, you know. And I think with every record we'll do, I think there'll be an expanded element from the album before, whether it's clean vocals, then on the next one there'll probably be more clean vocals.
I was about to bring up the clean vocals as well. Like, they've snuck
way.
their way in there as well.
Yeah, and again, it's kind of you ride that kind of wave between people going, oh man, you sold out, man. You got clean vocals in the chorus now, and it's like, okay, that is. But if you do it right, and it's not done in a Linkin Park style way, where you know it's going to be a certain
it's not like
way.
an obvious chorus.
That's what
If
I
the
mean.
song calls for it.
Yeah, if it's a natural thing and it just lends itself to it, then it needs to be done. You shouldn't like not do it for that reason and go, oh yeah, well, people are going to say X, Y, Z. Fuck them, basically. You know what I mean? If it needs to go somewhere, it should go somewhere. It's what we were saying earlier on. It's like a book. When you read a book, it just sprawls its way through. It travels and and that's what music should do.
Start
to a degree.
yeah. And it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, like the first stuff is a lot more sort of in your face. It's sort of you guys really locked together. It's that sort of solid onslaught. Second album, a bit more started to come out. And now you guys sort of really starting to separate. The width of the mix is much bigger, much bigger.
Yeah, I think when you've got again when you have more melody and more texture to what you're doing, it gives you more avenue to do that. Otherwise, you can get a little bit production crazy with what is essentially just a very straightforward metal record, and then you can overproduce, and then things start to get a little too clinical and a little too precise with maybe material that doesn't really call to be even more than it is. So I mean, you can get something right and go, right, that is the meat and potatoes mix of the first album, there it is. Or you could go over the top and really overproduce it, put delay on everything, little bits of stuff, things in the back, and really go over the top, and it'd be a bit like, well, the songs don't call for it there. They're quite, again, not to use the word meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good like chunk fest. It's doing it. You don't need to go all crazy with it. It does its job and it is what it is. But as you write and you start incorporating more elements for different tracks, then it gives you more scope to widen the mix as the songs themselves naturally just get wider by the varying content within it, like in melody and clean vocal and all that sort of stuff. That gives you an element then to go wide with certain stuff, and then the rest of the album works by default in a way. Do you know what I mean? So it should all run to a theme. But yeah, I think as the tracks become more sprawling and there's more melody and more creative stuff goes into it, the mix will change. And I think with every album, it's again like the aim is always to outdo your last one if you can, without being crazy. But yeah, just to outdo the thing before and just show a constant progression and moving forward. So yeah, album 4 is gonna be interesting. Probably have a fucking headbutting a clog solo or something.
Is there anything in the works for album 4 at the moment?
Lots of ideas, things. We keep jamming around with some stuff. We've got some nice polyrhythm ideas floating around as usual.
Oh, nice.
But I kind of want to make. Well, again, when it comes to melody, we've done a little bit of melody now, and it's not done in a totally obvious way, but it's okay. Yeah, that works. That is what it is. To do it again on the next one, you don't want to do it exactly the same way. Yeah. So I prefer to use like a clean vocal or like a melodic part now. In a different way, less obvious and catchy. Stick a 300 beats a minute.
It's more like a dark ambience. Like those lead lines that you're throwing in now.
Add a really ridiculously fast drum beat behind it, but keep the guitar simple. But then
no pressure, Liam.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all on you, man. It's all on
the
you.
lead line on the guitar and the vocal do something together, like harmonise with the guitar and the vocal. Just like, even if it's not even a lyrical thing, just do a dev. And you're doing a thing, and the guitar's doing its thing, and it just sounds like you're being dragged through space on a board. And it's just like totally over the top and fantastical, but super melodic, but super fast. And it's just like it shouldn't make sense, but it does if it's done really well.
Krysthla, like being dragged through space on an orb.
Yeah,
Great.
But that sort of thing, I think if you go in with that in mind and you want to try that, I don't think it'll ever work. I think when that sort of thing arises, it happens totally natural, and you'll have a moment of inspiration that will just be at the right time, spot on, and it will be right for that reason. It's like the intro to the Minor Mystery of Death, the very beginning, like the bum, that's 15 years old.
Really?
That intro, yeah. I've had that for a long time, and it was part of lots of other demo things I did ages ago. And it's been sat around, and what it was originally written for, the rest of the song was not as cool as the intro.
Okay.
And
Who was it originally written for?
It was just demo.
Oh, so it wasn't
just a
no
home
particular
recording,
band.
solo stuff, just sort of mucking about at home. And
it's a long time to have an idea sat there that's now coming to fruition.
Exactly, yeah. And it opened the second album. But yeah, it's a case of, I wanted that to be right in the context of the song.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. And when I started writing Minor Mystery of Death, I kind of I was reading a book called Morals and Dogma by a guy called Albert Pike. It's a really hard book to read. You should read it. And yeah, it was just a line. He's a very clever guy, and he's talking about stuff. And this one line pops in, like the blah blah blah, the Minor Mystery of Death, and I was just like, oh, that is a humdinger. I like that. And as soon as I read those words, for some unknown reason, that riff came, and I was like, that has the gravity of what I'm thinking. Okay, and immediately like the lyrics started like flooding in, and I was already hearing the next section after that intro riff, if you know what I mean. And then it wrote itself, and it was just like, okay. Then Minor Mystery of Death was written in about 15 minutes.
15 minutes from
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Just from that one line triggering
Yeah.
off everything.
Yeah, but that happens all the time, mate. Because I'm
Academic beginnings as well.
Yeah, exactly. But
We
Peace in Our
write our
Time.
songs by book reading, we do.
Yeah, Peace in Our Time. That's the title for the track, and that whole album sort of came about. I knew roughly what I wanted it to be about, and we did like the Decapitated Tour thing, and we saw all the homeless people on the Macedonian border, and they were just like tents for miles. And there's people burning alive in these tents, like kids covered in. It's just like, oh my god! And it's not until you see the scale of what you were looking at, you just go, and it fucked us up for hours afterwards.
I'm sure it did.
We got back on the buses after stop, and we were just like, fuck.
That's a reality check and a half.
It was heavy as fuck, yeah. And then you come home and you're just like, oh, it's never left any of us. I think it was fucking horrific. But yeah, but then watching Iron Man in cinema, what the Avengers? Well, no, I think it was Iron Man. Can't remember. Avengers. It's the bit where Tony Stark is talking to Hulk Banner, and they're talking about putting a shield of armour around the world and all that sort of thing. And he's like, we shouldn't be doing this. Oh, could we? Blah blah blah. And then as he walks off, he just turns around, Tony Stark, he looks at David Banner and he goes, "Peace in Our Time." Imagine that. And I was like, there it is. And I was like, man, and that's what I was trying. I was just thinking like war, everything, all this sort of stuff, and obviously, Peace in Our Time is. I think it was Prime Minister, was it Chamberlain? I can't remember. One of our Prime Ministers gave a speech, the Peace in Our Time speech, and yeah, and it all just like came together nicely, and I was just, oh, there it is. But those moments come out of nowhere. Just go boom, and then everything makes sense. It's like someone shut
Everything
the
sort of
thing,
aligns with that,
and
yeah.
they've done that to the sieve, and all the stuff's dried away, and there's your nugget. So I mean, it's just like bingo, and then the albums and the songs just flow super easy, where you know where you're going with it. So I mean, it's just like driving. If you don't know where you're going, you get lost.
Yeah.
Simple as that. But if you know when it comes to the actual album itself, where the start point is and what your end result is, I want it to be this, I want it to sound like this. Is you have to kind of see the whole album as a whole. As long as you know your end point and your start point, you can fill the blanks, and it's easy then because you're not just writing for the hell of it. Just writing like riffs on top of riffs and just writing lyrics that don't really gel. Do you know what I mean? It's nice to have a full-on journey from A to B, and then you can just write to the heart, and it just becomes a thing, and then it's much more coherent, I think.
It's remarkable the depth that's just gone into the song titles alone. I mean, is there a story like that behind every one of them? There's just a moment of awakening.
To a degree, there is, certain little things, bits and bobs. I think a lot of it's too complicated to really get into. Some of it's just like moments, I mean, just little things that, you know, just spark that little bit of creativity and things, and just numbers and stuff like that. It's, you know, the track on the first album, Praise Thee in Flesh, there's a track on there that I literally wrote backwards almost. I had like the end section came first, mainly because I had this riff in my head, and it was around like 322, the number 322, which is the lodge number of the Skull and Bone Society in the States.
Okay.
And that's their lodge number 322, and I was thinking 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2, and it just rolled around, and there's this sort of thing over the top, and I was just like, and then the whole thing came backwards, and it sort of like wrote itself, but it revealed itself in reverse order. But off that, and I was thinking about that lodge number mainly first, so you kind of think, okay, if inspiration is that way, you might put that as your first riff.
So even the patterns.
Yeah. I mean, the numerology that we use in the tracks, it stems from all sorts of stuff.
That was really prevalent in the first release. I remember the album cover and everything. It was, everything was just, there was so many layers to that.
Because to start, when we first started the band and everything, like Carl and Noel's father, Nigel, bless him, he was pretty instrumental in study. He like helped us out with a few things, and you know, he made a few things possible for us to like get a van and things like that. And he helped out big time. And we wanted to get something on the record for the old man.
Oh, nice.
So I mean, so we used the office telephone number that I'd always ring Carl or Noel on or something if I wanted to. I was like, oh, dudes, you know, blah blah blah. And it's 272292, which is the end riff of Ancient Hope.
Ancient Hope, yeah,
So
the
it's
breakdown.
yeah, so it's that's 272292. Yeah, and that runs like for the whole of the end of the track. But there's loads of little numbers, and even Human Cipher was my mum. Oh bless her, she only had one mobile phone in her entire life. She had it for years, and it was just a stupid brick.
It was like on the old motor.
She used to ring me on it all the time. And telephone number was 653-646, which is the riff in the Human Cipher. Yes, the verse riff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it repeats. And that was, so he used my mum's phone number as the verse riff in the Human Cipher.
That's incredible.
Stuff like that. So
I'm so glad I didn't go down the route of what inspires you, because there's a lot in here. Like every single thing seems to have a methodical sort of.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, with things falling into place, like you recently had a lineup change as well. Now you're part of the band.
Yeah.
Like, how's that sort of shifted the dynamic of things? How does that work? Because you guys have all been friends for a long, long time now.
Yeah.
With Wayne, obviously we played with Wayne in Gutworm as well, previously for like a good 10, 11 years or something. We played together as a whole. So we were very set in a kind of a thought pattern of how we played, and I sort of knew where Wayne would go on the drums. If I did a thing and I was like, oh yeah, we need a fast beat there or something, I knew exactly what Wayne would do, and I'd kind of tail it to that to a degree. So when Liam came in, obviously Liam has different ideas as where his foot patterns are going to be, and how he does his, because Liam's much more articulate with the tom work than the snare. Wayne used to do the counting with the feet. He used to keep his hands pretty straightforward, whereas Liam's a lot more energetic around the kit and
more hands than feet.
Yeah. So now it's a case of when we write something, I'll start laying some bits and bobs down. I kind of think, well, I can sort of to a degree leave it more open to interpretation for Liam. Right. So we need a fast beat on there.
Yeah, have my sort of thing on there.
Yeah, and then Liam can go, okay, because he's going to do it differently to Wayne. So so it makes it fresher. So we're not just using the same drum beats basically. You know what I mean? It's okay. So when Liam plays something, even if it's the same drum beat, he still plays a different to Wayne, obviously. So
the accents are marginal.
It's just like pressure on the kit and everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of character in your drumming. Like you say from previous bands, you can distinctly pick you out on a record. Like you say, it's a lot more handwork. It's a lot more sort of the way that you accent things.
Yeah, that's it. I was kind of like a late bloomer to the old double kicks anyway. And like when I was in From Eden to Exile and Apparitions and that, it was very just hands orientated, because I was, they're thrash bands and stuff, and that's primarily to me what thrash is. It's just it's kind of punk beats and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's all in the hands, like with your mad fills and stuff like that. So and then obviously you go into I'm into Periphery and stuff like that. So you get into that sort of more, what's the word? A bit more sugar coating on it, kind of thing, with the way it's sort of done. So I sort of went into that. But and then now with Krysthla, and obviously I'm sort of trying to do what I did into this band. So,
It's good to push each other. I think when you get a new member, it pushes you to write different stuff because you've got a new member.
Yeah.
I think Gene Hoglan on there was a little mini DVD with Strapping Young Lads' Alien album. They released like a little mini DVD thing with it. And there's a little section on there where Gene Hogan's talking about the recording and the writing and all that sort of stuff. And he says, my job is to impress my bandmates. If you impress your bandmates after 20 years and you play something, they go, wow, and my job is done.
Yeah.
Which is correct. And if you can do that with your band and you still make your band members go, oh man, that's wicked.
Yeah.
Then job. Yeah. You don't want them to go, oh, this isn't a beat again. Whatever.
I suppose they'll be your harshest critics as well. So also, you're impressing them. You really
absolutely.
are.
Yeah, absolutely. So it keeps everything fresh for everybody. And having Liam's input and style makes you kind of think differently on the guitar.
So that's sort of expanding the thought process there as well now. It's sort of more relevant.
Yeah, it pushes you in a subconscious way, but obviously in a very conscious way. Now I want to push Liam.
Yeah, is this more of the push towards polyrhythms you mentioned earlier and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, Krysthla has always done polyrhythms.
Yeah.
So when Liam came in, it was a bit of a, oh, hello, this is slightly different for you, wasn't it? It was just like, fucking hell. So, but he's like got to grips with it in double quick time, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, because you really haven't been together for so long, have you?
Well, it's probably been about, August last year, Bloodstock was my year anniversary gig. So what's that? That's 18 months.
Yeah,
something like that. It's shy of 2 years. I think like June was my sort of join, something like that.
It was something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But I was when
Just shy of 2
when
years.
what's the song called? What's the track?
What are we on about?
The track off the new record. What's it called? Grief.
Grief. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the midsection
Yeah.
in Grief going towards the end. When I wrote that, I was kind of thinking, if this never gets played, I kind of won't mind if we can get it down in the studio, brilliant. But if we don't ever play it, or because it's not like out of this world tricky, but it's a mind bender of a drum pattern.
Yeah.
And I kind of kept the guitars quite simple, the really open lead line, and just a 2-note revolving sort of riff that changes key, and just very slowly. But the drums really take the lead on that. We're just like
It just rides, doesn't it? Yeah.
The China and the thing.
You got like it's not the same, but it's similar to Minor Mystery on the snare, isn't it?
The China and the snare roll the same. Yeah, it's a better underneath.
Apparently, I knew it.
Yeah, it's a bit of it, and when you listen to it first of all, you go, oh, that's horrible, but it just keeps going. It doesn't stop, and I like it. When bands they'll introduce a riff or a particular theme or motif or something in the track, and there's always an element of they're bound to change now. They've introduced it, they've done a thing, and then they have to put the brakes on and do. I like it when bands do something and then they hammer you over the head with it. That they know they've got a good riff, or they know it's a wicked drum beat or something, and they just bring it in and they accentuate it every 4 bars or something. They keep adding, but it's the same thing really.
Not enough bands do that. Most go down the route of teasing that riff. If that riff's amazing, you'll get a certain chunk of it. You keep looking for that riff throughout the track. There's never quite enough of it.
Yeah, so I really wanted to bludgeon everybody over the head with that for a solid 2 minutes. It just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah.
But then the lead gets more intense, then the clean vocals kick in.
It just everything builds, doesn't it? And then
it just drops
goes
into
a
that
big riff.
Fendi bit. So I thought, let's just keep going. Let's just do that for 2 weeks. Just keep going. But the drum beat behind it is such a cool beat. I was thinking, right, it's just got to go on forever, because I think it's cool when drummers see the drummers playing things. And I think in the drumming community especially, there's always an element of nowadays people are real quick to big up people.
Yeah.
They'll be like, man, you need to see this drummer, he's sick, or whatever, I mean, rather than being competitive or something. Like the drumming circle nowadays is like, I don't know, everyone's on a high with each other's skills almost. You find a new drummer in a band or something and everyone's like, oh my god, have you seen that band? The drummer's immense or whatever. So to have a really cool little drum pattern just stuck on one of the tracks, it's somewhere in the album, just in there for drummers to go, oh no, what's that? And then they kind of get their head round it and think, all right, yeah, it's doing that and that and that. Yeah, that's horrible. It's still going. It's still, oh no. Oh, fuck, playing that for ages. And it just keeps going and building and building and it keeps going. And it's just like, I think for drummers, that's a cool. I mean, when Bleed came out, Bomb and Sugar, every drummer in the world lost his mind when they heard that. And to be fair, I've heard many bands do that pattern before. Many bands do that pattern before. But they just hammered it home.
It's just the fact that it's relentless throughout the song.
And it doesn't stop.
It's not a small thing.
There's tiny little changes in that pattern as the song moves on. Yeah. And they're super subtle, and the guitars change with them, super subtle. But it's just an absolute overwhelming, repetitive hammer on the head. It just keeps going, and it's just like, this is awesome, you know it is, we're going to give it to you for 5 minutes. Rather than, we better do a chorus now, or better put them in later now. But they don't change because they have to, they just zero in, like a missile. We know where it's going, it's going to do this until it gets to its thing, and then what? You're dead. And that's what they did with that particular thing, is that we know we've got a wicked riff, let's kill you with it.
Right in with
there's subtle changes but keep the theme the same. So that's what Grief does in that little thing. It starts off and then it keeps building, like 2 minutes and then it drops. But I like that. I like the slow progression, but the relentless attack of that theme never goes away. It's just bang, 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 bang. And he's like, stop. It doesn't. It's awesome. So
we got more bludgeoning riffs in the process.
Yeah, there will. Again, like I said, it's going to be. Again, there is a theme floating around for what it's going to be about, but it's just that, like I said, the first initial penny to drop hasn't quite dropped yet. There's lots of things I want to write about, lots of lyrics floating in my head. I used to be doing something, and be washing up at home, and for no reason whatsoever, an amazing one-liner will just pop into your head out of nowhere, and you'll be like, oh, wicked, and you'll put it on your phone or whatever. So there's lots of that sort of stuff floating around as like just good to have in the armoury just in case.
So you can claim that constantly working thing then.
Exactly.
You're always on it.
Yeah, it's always, it never really stops.
Even washing up.
Yeah, it's always there. But the actual like the peace in our time moment hasn't dropped yet, not yet. So I'm not actually going to write anything. So I don't like writing without, like I said, without knowing where I'm going. Otherwise, you can start writing stuff, and you might write 2 or 3 songs. After jamming them for a bit, you kind of go, yeah, it's not really what I'm after though.
Yeah, you don't write
Don't
with
waste
riffs, do you? You always write in well, to me, a very unusual way. So
Maybe it's,
but it works, obviously.
Yeah.
What's it been like adapting to the writings? Because, like I say, it's quite different to what you did before.
I mean, when it came to doing the album, I mean, the majority of it was there already. You know what I mean? Like the drum patterns, because I think even Wayne had a bit of inkling on the album as well.
Yeah, Wayne played, we'd like jammed some stuff.
Yeah.
There was a good 3 or 4 songs that we'd never played with Wayne.
Yeah.
So we didn't know any of those drum parts. He knew of them, but he never played them. We'd never jammed them as a band. So
it was kind of like demoed stuff from like the later part of Wayne being in the band. So you know, the bare bones of it was already there. It was just okay. Like Neil said earlier, he touched on it earlier. It's just he kind of just gave me the freedom to do what I want to do with the drum fills, and you know, there's certain bits like originally in White Castles, all the tom work bit was originally kind of double basses,
kick as well,
double kicks and stuff like that. But between us, we came up with the concept of lowering it down a bit, so that chorus is kind of like lowered down in volume almost, and it's a bit more
breath on the drum.
Exactly, and then it just fires in on the later bit, going into the double kicks. So,
Dynamics, isn't it?
Yeah, dynamics. So you know, I pretty much had the freedom to do that sort of stuff. So.
Well, that's another point. That's probably another thing that sort of changed within the writing. Like the consideration of dynamics is sort of so much more now. Like the sort of the drops, the rises, the swells.
Yeah.
There's a lot more focus on that than sort of just the absolute onslaught of the original sort of.
Yeah. Again, I think with the when the songs become better by default, simply because you're trying new things and you're trying to bring in more, I think that naturally comes along as well. You're not just sticking metal riffs together.
Yeah.
When you're looking for a melody, and White Castle's on the guitar, that whole little midsection bit, so it's a really nice little thing, and it needed to ease off a little bit before and then the chorus kicks in, not for real. So
tremolo and stuff.
Things like that kind of write themselves to a degree.
Yeah.
So but again, like the more that sort of stuff is written, and whatever these things are going to become more prevalent, and we'll just keep adding to it. Like if we're going to do like something like White Castles, if something similar dynamic wise happened on the next record, I'll make sure it was double dynamic. So it went from maybe even quieter to even more on the out, rather than just you bringing in even more crazy things. So you're going from 0 to 100 rather than coming down to 30 to 90. You know what I mean? Trying to make everything bigger and wider and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's I think the more you limit yourself by thinking, well, we can't do that because we're a straight up metal band. As soon as you think that, you don't allow for long lead sections and a bit more dynamics.
You box yourself right in.
You pigeon yourself in a bit by saying, well, we're a metal band, it's got to do this, we can't do that because people are going to say we're wimping out, blah, blah, blah. So as long as you just cast that off and go, I don't care, let's just write some really cool, original stuff that no one else has done. We've got to do it our way. I mean, no one's reinvented the wheel anymore. It's chunks, it's heavy,
It's
double
how
kick.
you do it.
There's only so many notes on the guitar, there's only so many things you can hit on the drums, but to do it in an individual way, you've got to expand what you write naturally and don't just go, right, let's chug on this thing and do a double kick beat. Because that's been done a million times. If you're going to do that, you've got to find a way of making it yours and do it in a
that's it.
slightly
Like you
unique
guys
way.
seem to have got that nailed down. Like everything that you play sounds like Krysthla, even if it's even in completely new directions with like sort of the melody and everything. It still sounds like you guys.
Yeah, the core of it is still there, isn't it?
Yeah.
As a fan of the band, obviously, before I joined and stuff, I noticed that when I first heard the new album and stuff.
Well, I've always admired a band like Pantera for the fact that they can have on the same album a track like Walk fucking Hostile, which are two totally different animals.
Total
they are
different
literally, if you tweak the guitar sound or something on fucking Hostile, and like just change the vocal pitch a little bit, or just that, you can say they're two different bands. There's literally nothing that says, oh yeah, it's the same band. Nothing at all. Whereas if you listen to a band, or someone like Beneath the Massacre or somebody, you know what you're going to get. There's going to be a certain element of they do this, they do this, they do that, and you could interchange a lot of death metal bands. You could interchange their intro, and from the same album, you could take and you could build a whole new song out of all of their bits more, and it wouldn't sound out of place. It's very, you could jigsaw it in that way, and I kind of think to be able to have tracks on an album that have their own, so individually have their own identity, like Walk and fucking Hostile. You could say, oh yeah, man, I really want to listen to a fast song. You put fucking Hostile on, you'd lose your mind to it. If you wanted something just cool and just vibe off, that was nice and groovy, you could put Walk on. And I think there's a lot of bands kind of they are very clever, they're very good musicians, but they don't give the tracks an individual personality. They put lots of stuff in. They might come, it might go fast, it might go slow. There'll be some things clever, brilliant. That's really like well done. But then the other songs do something very similar as well. They don't. They're very similar sounding.
They're almost like bridge points.
It's kind of like, okay, there's a very similar vibe to all the songs, rather than having a track like Luminosity and then a track like H+. So, I mean, H+ is just for fucking ages. It goes on forever.
Nice and relentless, that one.
It goes on forever. But then Luminosity,
it's got a nice casual pace to it. Got a good
it's just a slow groove, and it does nothing but that slow churning groove all the way through, because that's what that song is.
That's just a headbang hook.
That
is a song that nobody can hear and not headbang. And you watch every time you guys bring that out live, the whole room.
That's the aim, isn't it? And
it works.
Absolutely is. But again, if we had 10 of those songs in the set,
by that point,
wouldn't be as good. You need to have one of those.
It just keeps it all creative and more exciting, like the live aspect.
Does it allow more versatility in like composing a set as well for like an event?
Oh, definitely. The problem we've got at the minute is we can't. It sounds really bad when we say this, because we laugh when we do say it, but we've got too many cool songs. When you think, okay, we need to do a half-hour set. Okay, so we need to lose that one and that one. Oh, I really don't want to take that one out.
The problem is we've got 5 individuals that have favourites, different songs as well. So that plays a part sometimes, doesn't it? Like when we chose this hour set, some of it was a bit like, okay, you got to compromise and be like, oh, I won't play that one for you, but my favourite's preferably this one. So, like you say, we've got too many good songs.
I suppose you're working with such complex stories within them that you can't just stick them one after the other.
They've got to flow as well.
I think the main difference as well, on about stories and content and idea, I think this third album is probably the most personal out of all of them on like a lyrical level. The first album was very much us versus them. Fuck them.
There's an aggression to that, there's a directness, but by this point there's a more contemplative sort of, it's more,
there's a lot more,
it's like introspective, but in a sort of really...
it's things that more people can relate to. Not everybody's into intergalactic shape-shifting wizards, or something. You know what I mean? But
it's a niche market.
It's a niche market.
You got any intergalactic shape-shifting wizard, Chris? But the first album is very much us versus them, and like kind of establishment, like resisting that kind, blah, blah. The second album was all out war, like anti-war, like fuck this. I mean, we're sending off our kids year after year to just sacrifice themselves for something. But I love the way they use the word sacrifice as well. Whenever they talk about our young men and women who sacrifice their lives, that's an interesting term of phrase to use. Sacrifice.
Blood on the soil, it does fit.
Exactly, that's it, and it's just like, well done. But I mean, loads of stuff off the first record. Ancient Hope, a lot of the actual lyrics from that are taken from presidential election speeches.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. So you got there's lines from George Bush and Bill Clinton and stuff, and some of the things that their advisors write for them. Bearing in mind, they're all fucking wizards. If you don't think they are like worshipping dark forces behind the scenes, you're an idiot. There's a reason why they're where they are, and 8 billion people are still living the majority of lives that we fucking hate, and we're miserable in. But they still get us to do it week in, week out, year, and our children do it as well.
The thing is, we still do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's exactly
We're
it.
still
And
complacent.
there's a reason why they're where they are. So when you've got like the president's like referencing Egyptian deities and things, and talking about what the speed of the setting sun on the River Styx. I mean the River Thames. Yeah, lots of stuff. It's all taken from like presidential speeches and ancient hopis as well. But yeah, the third record is very much more open to your average kind of person who feels a certain way. They can go, yeah, man, I'll totally get that. What that is, I'll get it. You know what I mean? It's whether you're talking, it's obviously a common thing nowadays. Everyone's got some kind of mental issue going on. Everyone's fighting some kind of battle.
This is the age of apathy, mate.
Yeah, I know.
Apathy.
Everyone's got something going on, and whether it's real or not, I don't know. To be honest, I'm not a doctor, and I think a lot of people go online, whether they seek validation or what, I really don't know. Some people genuinely need help. I think some people go on there just to have a look and see who's going to react nicely, or what, or just give them a little bit of a boost. I really don't know. I'm not a doctor, and I don't think social media is a place to go airing that sort of stuff.
No.
If you've got a serious problem, you don't want 50 people all telling you what to do. Go and see somebody who can actually help.
And it's 50 people that have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. So on this record, it was more of an open-ended, everyone's got a little something. And I've had I had a friend who nobody had any idea he was depressed at all. And out of the blue one day, he just gassed himself in his car. It's just like, and I saw him like 2 weeks previous. That was freaking silence. He was like, shit. And at the funeral,
That kind of stuff hits hard.
Everyone's just like at the funeral going, no one had any idea. It's like, wow, okay. So a lot of things like that are on there, and it's a much more personal kind of thing that everybody else can relate to, because everyone's felt something like that on the record. There's a song for everything, really. But it's the first time we've sort of dealt that kind of lyrical output. Everything else is either anti-war or anti-establishment. But this one's gone, like I say, it's more introspective and thinking about stuff that other people can relate to more, I think. So, that was different.
Yeah, did you have the same confidence sort of going into it, knowing that you were airing that a little bit more, and so it was more personal, it was more... Did that sort of change the feel of the output?
I'll be honest, writing that sort of stuff feels cheesier.
Really?
Yeah, it does feel cheesy. Because I'm very lucky, if I'm honest. My mental capacity is pretty cast iron to a degree. I know what I like, and I like what I know. So, I'm kind of lucky in that respect. So when you kind of write about this stuff, I've dealt with these things in a different way to maybe everybody else.
Yeah.
Like when my mum and dad died, I had no time off work. I went straight back to work. I was like, in my head, I just compartmentalised everything, the whole process of the grieving process.
So you had quite a structured grieving process compared to the sort of chaos. I
had no intention of just like reveling in misery and sadness and just going, oh my God. I thought, right, okay, everyone gets ill. Everyone hits that point where their body gives up. It's not personal. Death didn't come for them to piss me off or upset me. It's going to happen to somebody else tomorrow. Just because the world right now feels like it stopped spinning and everybody else is just moving around me is what it feels like. It's so bizarre. But I was like, well, this is happening to somebody right now. And again.
Yeah, every few seconds.
And again. And it's not just me. And you have to kind of chip away at that.
Yeah, it takes some mental fortitude to do that. It usually requires another person to sort of say, you're sort of like your own mentor in that sense. You keep check on yourself.
It was just a total, just putting it in boxes. So, right, this is what happens to everyone. It's not personal. And it does go away. So, I mean, you do get over it. It's as simple as that. You do, but it's kind of thing. I think if you let the misery wash over you for too long, it can change your brain function, I think, and then you see the sadness in everything, and then people get super.
I mean, you can get memory loss through depression. There's so many sort of like genuine medical problems with it.
You basically.
So you sort of went on the side of logic and sort of followed down that instead.
Yeah, absolutely. I was determined. I wasn't going to let it fuck me up.
Basically. Well, and it makes sense considering how straightforward you are.
Well, yeah. I mean, my mum and dad, they said to me, "Oh no, we're going off music." My mum and dad said to me like years ago, "So we're not going to leave you anything." Nothing. You're going to get left nothing. We'll teach you everything we can while we're here. And the biggest lesson they taught me, and as morbid as this sounds, is when they were laying on a slab.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got this carcass sat there that's like this colour, stone cold, sort of looks like your mum, sort of looks like your dad.
But the recognition is
You're just looking at it going, wow. And then I can't, without sounding cheesy, it's that moment where you see the matrix start to crack.
Yeah.
And you kind of think, wow, I've been afraid of this or that or this or never done this my entire life because you're scared of something.
Yeah.
But the reality is, everybody ends up there. No matter how rich you are, how successful you are.
It was quite telling in the fact that you went it.
Yeah.
A disconnect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's where you end up. And it's like there's no reason to be afraid to do anything. And that lesson they taught me when I saw them on that slab was, go, do it. Don't do the things that you want to do because you're scared of having no money, or it might not work, or everyone thinks you're a knobhead.
So this is a large part of you never slowing down then.
Oh, pretty much.
You keep yourself ridiculously busy. I mean, like, you run Initiate Audio and Media on top of this, like recording just about every local band that you can possibly imagine. How do you keep time for that? Writing?
I know.
Where do you find the time for this stuff?
It is super busy. It's as simple as that. But I like that though.
Yeah.
Because I'm filling my life with things that I love doing. And I think not enough people do that. And I think that's where the misery creeps in.
Yeah.
If you constantly just do things you hate and you're not having a job that's fulfilling, or you're not around the right people, it's just
no release.
Yeah, exactly. You're just in a poisonous environment, whether it's work or friends or whatever. If something's not right, move out of that area. You know what I mean? I wouldn't leave my leg dangling in a fucking shark pit. I mean, you got a shark, and I was like, I just had a toenail ripped off, but I'm going to leave my foot in this water. And it's going to fucking get you. Take your foot out of there then, before you get fucking chomped. So, like seeing them on a slab was literally just like the last chink in the armour to go. And then you kind of think, wow. And when I walked out of there, it was like not like a weight off my shoulders or anything. It was just like a huge moment of clarity.
You leave with a different mentality entirely.
Totally. And you just walk out there and it's just like...
Yeah.
Let's go.
Well, the thing is, it's on your shoulders entirely then at that point as well, isn't it? You've got nobody there on either side. It's you. You have to do this. There's nobody.
You've got no parents to ring up and go, I think I screwed up.
Yeah.
What have you done now? It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Everybody else from now on, you're on a level with, like your friends or your family. They're all the same. Everyone's on their level. You haven't got that person to call up and go, need some advice. Well, your friends can give you advice, but they've got their own shit.
Yeah, and it's a different kind of thing, because it's not that sort of helpless, oh, please help me, I don't know what to do. It's sort of like, fuck, where do I turn now? No, I've got to deal with this myself.
That's it, you're the adult now. It's like, shit. So but I was determined, not to let that misery just lay on you like a blanket, and then it obstructs your vision mentally and everything, and you then become a different person because you let it win.
No, you've turned that into some serious fuel.
Yeah, you've got to rip that veil off and go, right, there's nothing to be afraid of in this world because we're all going there.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time in the meantime, because when you're literally on death's door, if you're lucky enough to be on your deathbed going, oh no, I ain't got much time, or whatever, you're going to regret every decision you made for not doing these things. So life's way too short, and there's too much riffs out there to be written, and too many beats to be played.
If anybody can take anything away from this, it's definitely that.
I'm not sure we've gone to that pretty heavy.
I gotta say, we went down a really heavy path there. I was like, how do I bring this one back? Where do we go from this? So, well, you know what? We brought up an Initiate Audio and Media. When you're recording like local bands, underground bands, do you find any of those influence you or spark off ideas? Or you see a band doing something, you're like, that idea?
No, not really.
That puts everybody down the level, doesn't it?
No, I'm
You're very separated with that.
Yeah, if I'm working with a band, my band doesn't get a look in when it comes to writing. I don't write at the same time I'm working with. I like to have a complete slate.
Yeah.
And like I said, when the penny drops in terms of content, it might be for the album or whatever, I aim as much as possible not to have any bands in, and it's normally around about December time. Yeah. That I kind of go, right, nothing in December. I'll need a few weeks just to get him in. We'll do some stuff, and everyone can come in and do their bits and bobs. And
sample, do whatever.
Yeah, we'll do the stuff. So I like to be thoroughly detached from working with other bands when I'm doing something. Otherwise, it could creep in. If you know what I mean. So I don't let it. If you know what I mean, because everybody that I work with, to a degree, has something you could rob. You know what I mean? It's just sort of that little section. Because I like everyone I work with, there's always a little thing somewhere in whatever band.
Yeah.
You can't think, that's a pretty cute way they did that. They could have robbed that. But so you have to make sure you don't do it. But when I'm working with a band, I'm so like involved, and my mindset is like so zeroed in on what we're doing. My stuff doesn't get a look in. I don't write. I don't like jam the guitar. I still rehearse, but there's no like writing or anything because it can quite easily creep in. So I don't.
So that's another compartmentalised kind of thing. There's a separation there.
You've got to be able to lock doors.
I was about to say there's a complexity of locked doors here, man. Imagine like a hotel hallway, like that Matrix scene, and all those doors going on down there.
One's got riffs on, one's got recording on, one's got drum beats on. Yeah, but I think, but again, without structure and knowing where you're going and what you're doing, you end up doing lots of other things you don't need to do. That's wasted energy, you know what I mean? I think, and I'm not down for that. I'm not down for wasting energy. It's not cool. Not cool.
I don't think you've got time to waste energy, mate.
No,
You've got so much on.
Right, yeah, busy's good though. Busy's good.
Definitely. Because
you can't die.
So you guys have just joined together, haven't you? Like Low Focus and Initiate are now doing video offering packages to bands.
Yeah. It just made sense, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's just like, well, I do this, you do this. Bands and people need this.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of an unofficial arrangement for quite a while, wasn't it?
We've done like 5 or 6 things
yeah.
now. So I've recorded a band and I've gone to him totally separate. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, I've become a video, especially in stage. But now we have. So yeah, it is initially audio and video now. So yeah, some awesome package deals available. So
nice. Get him up for those. So, what's the interest been like so far? You got many bands booked in for this?
We've had a few people message, but it's just I think more people are interested in just finding out what's going on.
Yeah,
they just want to know for future reference. I mean, rather than going, we want to do this now. So it's kind of like again, I think a lot of people have like a videographer in mind they worked with before, or a studio that they worked with before. Yeah. So to come to us, they would need to trust brand new entities.
Yeah, that's 2 things they've got to trust us on.
It's an unknown quantity for some people, you know what I mean? So it's going to take a little while for it to germinate properly. And we've got a few bits we've already worked on now, but not actually together, but stuff I've recorded.
Simultaneously.
And then the bands have gone to Liam for the video.
I just, you worked with Ashbourne, I've just done the video.
He's done the video,
stuff like that. So, and obviously that weren't part of the package thing, but
so you've got that.
They came to us. So.
Just in time for this.
Yeah.
So are there any other members of the band that are thinking of throwing a skill into this? We're going to have like other initiate ventures going on.
Well, if you need some plastering or painting done, Carl's your man.
Yeah, and if you need doors and windows, Carl is your man. And if you need to do some bird spotting, Aid is your man.
Noel can paint the scene for us. I'll video it and he records it. Done.
See, perfect.
And then AD can just watch you through binoculars. It's an eagle.
Yeah, bless him.
AD is probably the nicest frontman I've ever met.
Oh, yeah, he is.
It's amazing. He is just the loveliest guy on the stage.
He's got a backbone in his body.
That's cool. Genuinely doesn't. Switches up there.
Yeah, absolutely.
He knows his place on that stage, so he knows what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Just let him do it.
Evidently.
He's a heavy metal. He's a death metal Aussie. That's what he is.
That's a point. Earlier, because I realised, because I've known you guys for a long time, I've never thought, what genre of Krysthla, where do they fit? And I'm just like, it's Krysthla. I don't, never... Where do you guys fit? Because I was sat there, watching your set, okay, well, there's a bit of that. There's no... Oh, it's predominantly this. It's predominantly that. There's so many tiny little bits of something. What the fuck are
we had an interview early, didn't we? Yeah. And AD kind of took the lead on the question, because they sort of asked us a similar sort of question. It was like, well, you could say we're kind of mildly like a progressive death.
Yeah.
Kind of. There's elements of progressiveness where it just wanders off and it does stuff and it doesn't stick to a rigid structure, but some do. And it's not straight up death metal.
No.
Because the vocals aren't there's no death metal vocals. AD's just got that mid-tone bark.
Yeah, he's got
about
him. Sort of shout.
And the riffs weave between a little bit of death metal. There's the odd occasional black metal sort of minor chord type riffage in there, and then you get a bit of genty style stuff. And again, it all blends together. And You have to put that together in, like I said, an individual way for that song.
Yeah.
For it to work, sort of thing. So yeah, I
So
don't
when
know.
you find you're defined by genre by song, so
Yeah,
you have to
almost,
ask
yeah.
individually for each
Yeah.
one. Like, well, at this point they're this band, but by the end of the set,
I wouldn't know what H plus is. So I mean, it's not thrash.
No, it's too awkward to be
do you see what I mean? Like, this is a genuinely
Yeah.
difficult thing to work out. Like, as
I
soon as you
kinda
really
like-
get
yeah.
into it,
I think that's a good thing though. The fact
Yeah.
that
Oh,
we're
yeah.
almost,
Yeah.
like every single band and artist on the planet, their music has got elements of different types of music.
Yeah.
No, you can't
Yeah.
deny that's fact. But yeah, I like the fact that we're almost, even us, we're kind of like, well, don't really know.
exactly. Like,
Yeah,
neither
I
of
quite
you have got
like
like a solid answer,
Keeping it
for
mysterious.
And it's sort of like,
Just
well,
songs.
this element of the kick came from here, but then this came from there. Like,
Yeah.
there's no sort of like, oh yeah, we were listening to death metal at the time. Most of the song came from that. Like,
The only thing I will say, and this is as a fan anyway of the band, I will say there's a very 90s vibe to it.
Oh, totally.
Very 90s
Absolutely.
metal vibe. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Fear Factory, Machine
Yeah.
Head.
yeah,
Yeah.
The song structure. I mean, Machine Head, like in the first album, and Fear Factory as well, like Demanufacture and Sepultura. When those bands were releasing those albums, it was groundbreaking. There was thrash, there was like heavy rock, there was some metal, but when Machine Head put "Burn My Eyes Out," what for everybody, just in terms of production, the quality of the riff,
Everything
it
about
was
it.
just like, oh my god. The Demanufacture absolutely rewrote the rules on tone.
Oh, yeah.
And like drum patterns and locking in those like all that with it. It was just like
People are still trying to do it
my God.
now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And even like 1994, like way back then, like Destroy, Raise and Prove by Sugar. That came out in like 93 or 94. It's just like you can't get your head around how far ahead of the game they were doing that stuff. And considering I think they recorded it with Daniel Bergstrand when he was 19. He produced that record.
But
Unbelievable, with no clicks.
Yeah, it's all live, wasn't
Astonishingly good recording, but the band played that well. And
That
that's
is
why,
impressive, I didn't realise that.
Fucking shocking. Re-listen to it again and think, okay, 19-year-old engineer, no clicks.
yeah,
It changes
That
the way you
changes
listen
it
to that
already.
record. It's just like, my god, astonishingly good. But yeah, there is you're right. There is a huge element of like 90s kind of
Vibe.
riff-based songs. You know what I mean, rather than it being. I mean, I think a lot of bands get by on like sheer technicality.
Yeah.
I mean, their thing is being technical, and it's like that's cool, but I want to hear a song.
yeah.
Play me a song. Do you know what I mean? I don't care how fast you can tap. So what?
Well, there was a point where that sort of just fell out completely. Nobody was even
Yeah.
that interested in
Yeah.
how well you could tap and how, we went right back and then we're sort of swaying back the other way
I think
now.
the internet has had a lot to do with that. People
YouTube
uploading things on
players and
YouTube.
that kind of thing,
It's just
yeah.
like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's brought that I think to a more prevalent kind of audience, and everyone just being like, so okay, great.
Well, that's it. Everybody
Play me
sort
a
of sets that as the benchmark now. They're
Yeah.
like, right, I've got to know how to sweep pick. I've got to go, how to do this, or I can't play guitar. It's like, no, how can you play a riff? You've
Yeah.
got a good rhythm.
Yeah, Dimebag Darrell didn't sweep it.
No.
He probably could, but he didn't need to. He was Dimebag Darrell. His riffs spoke for themselves.
Yeah.
That's why he's a legend.
They literally did though. Like there was voicing to
Yeah.
those, like solos and stuff.
Absolutely. But yeah, again, individual songs and riffs and
Yeah, there's
the way you do it.
there's elements of everything, and it'll continue, won't it? This is the way it is. The way it gets.
just got to
written.
keep writing. Just keep writing, churn out good stuff
Yeah,
forever until you're physically unable to. You can't die with a song left inside you.
I like that.
That's
Can't
the
die
thing.
with a song
You
left
can't die with
inside.
a song left in you. You've got to get them all out. Got to say it all, get it all done.
That's quite a goal there, isn't it?
If I'm on a deathbed and I've got a riff in my head, I'm going to be pissed. I'm not ready.
That's it, Neil going
I'm
out.
not ready.
Oh fuck!
Bring out your dead. I'm not dead. I'll feel better. Yeah, that's the thing.
Just hold on for that magnum opus.
Yeah, exactly. I'll probably be like 85, barely able to fucking wipe my own arse or piss properly with that tube, and I'll come out with the best heavy metal song of all time, and no one will know. What a fucking criminal thing to happen. Like,
Just sat down in their retirement home, laying it down,
Yeah.
just knowing that's.
yeah, I'll be an old man with an old laptop. No one will use laptops anymore apart from me. Everyone's moved on. I have a quick copy of Sonar.
It's still on Sonar 4.
Yeah. This riff though.
We don't need Pro Tools.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to say it all. You got to say everything while you can. Get out there, do the things. Life's too short. Too short, and everyone's living it wrong. They might think they're happy with it. People are creative. People are creative. The will to create and do and reach other people and communicate is our prime thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And why would there be cars? No one invented a car because they wanted to be rich. They wanted to invent a car because they wanted to invent a fucking car.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To design this thing, I need to do this. I think I can do this. Make it work. And that's what the human endeavour is to create and build and do and just further our way of life and make things easier. But it's been totally scuppered by fucking big business, but turned everything into a profit. But if all the banks collapsed tomorrow and there was no such thing as money, we'd still need to get about. We'd still need to do all the things that we rely on.
Still need to work.
But would we do it with no money?
Well, we wouldn't need to apply an invisible number to it.
Exactly.
We
That's what I mean.
put
And we'd also
monetary
have
value.
to work a lot less.
Yeah.
Because the workforce all of a sudden would multiply by fucking 1 million. And you could think, oh, okay, so as long as I go work a couple of times a month, I'll actually do my bit,
Yeah.
and so does everybody else. There'd be too many people to do the jobs.
Exactly, and the value of what you're getting out is no longer here's a 10,
Exactly.
here's a 5.
And we'd
here's
actually
this.
be able to produce better, cleaner, and more.
Yeah, here's a
Because-
sustainable model.
Exactly.
We didn't always have money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we had to get by with that, didn't we? But yeah, anyway. Riffs.
Riffs, back to this. Right,
riffs.
well, I think we should tie up with what's planned for 2020 for Krysthla. What can we expect to see from you guys?
Lots.
Mainly live stuff. We're not going to put out any more music this year. We've got some ideas for content for a certain few people, should they want it. But that's
very cryptic.
Yeah, that's a members only thing, if you know what I mean. But that
Well, that depends if they know what you mean, because that could be anything.
no one knows it is.
We're paying for nudes or something.
Yeah, we're
Fans only
trying
account.
some. We're looking at trying some new avenues, basically, to try and keep the relationship between people who dig the bands and the band and that middle ground, because not everybody can go to a show.
No.
Yeah.
They might already have your albums. They might want to support the band in other ways. We might want to give the people who want to support the band in other ways extra stuff that
So,
nobody else
like
can
your
get.
Facebook live stream set the other day and that kind of thing, sort of accessing people where they are as
But
well.
much more in-depth, detailed stuff, like really tailored
Yeah,
towards.
that's probably the tip of the iceberg,
Yeah.
considering
Yeah,
the thought
yeah.
has gone into
But yeah,
everything else.
exactly.
It's going to be. We're really looking at trying to give people something unique that nobody else can have.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. I mean, it saddens me, to be honest, when I see bands like Obituary and all that sort of stuff when they're on tour having to do the whole meet and greet thing just to make ends meet. I mean,
Yeah.
fucking Obituary are legends in the music, in the heavy music world. They're pioneers. You know what I mean? And it's gotten to the stage with bands like that and Megadeth and everybody, they're having to do like meet and greet stuff just to get people to try and pay a little bit extra, just come and hang out for a bit. Or play a game. And it's sad for me because he shouldn't have to do that. But stuff like Spotify, which I think is the worst fucking thing in the world. I mean, it's why we spend so much time and effort and money making this stuff, and now your average music listener goes, "Well, I'm definitely going to get that for free then, so that's cool." Fuck, they don't go to the shows either. They might buy a T-shirt. You only buy it once.
Yeah.
So what I mean, that's it. Whereas before, at least if you bought the album, you were supporting the band. Paying $10.99 or whatever it is a month for Spotify and having unlimited
Yeah, well, now
music.
people aren't listening to the album as such. That's such a sort of like...
Yeah.
such a-
Song.
Yeah,
Everything's single.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's singles, it's songs.
Yeah.
I mean, bands aren't even really releasing albums in the same
Yeah,
frequency anymore. It's
yeah,
like,
it's
we're going
a
to release
lot.
this single and then 2 months later this single. And sort of
Yeah.
you eventually build up an EP over a year or something, just drip feeding
To
it out.
to a point, like the whole Spotify does work. Like, I agree with Neil. Like it can, but to a point it works as like a platform for you to like demo stuff.
Yeah.
If you could put your album, if you could put your album on Spotify and it stayed up there for a month,
Yeah.
but then after that month it comes off and you only have the download link that you have to pay £10 for because it's a fucking album.
Yeah.
You can listen to it for a month and go, you know what, I fucking love this. This is banging. I'm going to buy it. As soon as that link goes down and the new link comes up to purchase it, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Job done.
Yeah.
But instead, Spotify like pays the artist fuck all,
Yeah,
absolute zero.
it's hilarious seeing that
it's
come
just
back
fucking
through.
ridiculous. And then everyone gets all your material for free.
Yeah.
The whole entire back catalogue for nothing.
Exactly,
I mean,
like you said,
if-
you've just invested all of that in there.
Yeah, exactly. If you've
think-
made 4 albums, somebody, if they're a super fan of the band, could get, you know what, 40 quid? The entire back catalogue, that's like 40 songs, it's £1 a song.
Yeah.
Wait, what the fuck? What is
And
wrong
like
with
you
you?
physically own that.
That's yours,
Yeah.
then, yeah,
Yeah,
that's yours.
you
yeah.
own that particular thing right
For
there.
me personally, it's all about. I think I'm of the age of the last generation that likes to go out and buy physicals.
Yeah.
I think you're the same.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Like, you know, there was literally when I was like growing up in school, blah blah blah, college, all that. Me and my mate would literally every single Saturday, without fail, would have like 90 quid in our hand. We'd go to HMV, buy a bunch of DVDs, CDs, and then we'd literally just listen to them all day.
Yeah.
That's
You're supporting the industry.
that's supporting those artists.
And like, did you find because you were paying for it, because you had to go out and get it, you had to go and collect it, kind
Yeah.
of thing, that you then cherish that a bit more.
Yeah,
That
yeah, yeah,
CD
it's a special
actually
thing,
meant
yeah.
It's little
something. It wasn't
things
just
as
like,
well. I mean,
I'm just going to listen to that on the way down the shops. No, it's something that you actively participated in.
and then like you can just get lost in the music as well. So like again, I used to just sit there with headphones, read the book, lyric book,
Exactly.
And you used to literally just watch word for word as they're saying. And you're just like, oh crap, yeah, okay. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what
You
you
get
mean.
lost in it. It's just another sort of treasure in life. But I think I'm with Neil. Spotify and stuff like that. They have their positives, but there's a lot of negatives, and that is the taking away from the physicals and stuff like that. That whole
that
experience.
1 month model could definitely work for something
Well, it
like
should
that.
do.
I mean, it still gives you all of the benefits of the free upfront.
Or even if it's like a free single, like you can have a single for free, but you got to
Yeah.
buy the album.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something like that. After that 1 month, there's a single. Buy the album.
yeah. Maybe we should hit them up and see what we can do.
It's been a fight. Yeah.
That's a good point to leave it. Fuck
Yeah.
Spotify. Right, guys. Really appreciate talking to you.
No worries, man.
Thank you.
Good to see you,
Much.
dude.
Thank you very much, Luke.
Nice one. Cheers, guys. Wow. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. An hour and 2 minutes. Bang it.
Really?
Wow.
Fucking hell, flew by. It's time.